going on, YouTube? And I'm back at it with another video. It's going to be all things Mets media, guys. The bullpen has been awful, guys. The New York Mets need to change something. You know what I'm saying? They are a really good team. Their offense is okay at times. Sometimes they blow up. Sometimes they don't score a lot of runs. And the pitching does the business. But I'll tell you guys this, guys. The bullpen has been an issue this season. The start of the season, we knew Trevor May wasn't going to be as great. I'm not a big fan of Trevor May. I know a lot of Mets fans don't really like Trevor May like that. He hasn't had really a successful career with the New York Mets so far, to be honest. So the bullpen options, guys, that the Mets have are Edwin Diaz, as the closer. He's been great, one of the best closers in the National League. Yes, he has his times where, he blows a save and he gets out of control. But listen, the Mets have one of the best closers in the National League and also one of the best strikeout closers in the National League. So the Mets really can't complain about closers. They have one of the best, to be honest, and I love Edwin Diaz. I love what he brings to the Mets. I love that, he can come in the ninth inning and strike out the side against, a big, top of the lineup, heart of the lineup, whatever you want to call it, the heart of the lineup, whatever you want to call it. But guys, the big issue is the bullpen. Let's talk about it honestly, guys. Seth Lugo, we knew that, he had an injury last season. He wasn't really himself. He didn't look as Seth Lugo-ish as he did in the previous years. And this is the Seth Lugo that we have now, guys. I know that Seth Lugo is a reliever for us, but, he's not in the trust circle for Buck Showalter, for setup man right now. And it's really unfortunate because Seth Lugo is a guy that's supposed to be our setup man. He's supposed to be the guy, to be the setup man and, hand it over to Edwin Diaz, our closer. But the thing is about that, guys, is, he hasn't been great. He hasn't been terrible, but he's not trusted by Buck Showalter. And that's the problem. And then you have other guys like Adam Ottavino, the guy that we picked up late in the what's it called? In the offseason. It looked like a last minute move by the New York Mets, something that they really weren't that interested in, but they just picked him up just to pick him up because they realized we traded Miguel Castro. We need another right-hander. So listen, Adam Ottavino is a guy that, he has a nasty slider. He has an okay fastball. He has experience getting outs. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been terrible as well. So there's been situations where Adam Ottavino comes through and he strikes out guys and he does amazing. But then there's other situations where he's not great and he can definitely cough up a game for the New York Mets. Now, I like Adam Ottavino. I like his slider. It can be nasty. It can really be good. I really do like Adam Ottavino. I want him to be successful. He hasn't had a smooth sailing row, in the bullpen, but it's hard. It's hard to have a smooth sailing row, guys, because it's 162 games. It's a long process. It's long games. It's, any day could go wrong for you, and you can't always, have that best day. But Adam Ottavino has been good. He is more trusted right now than Seth Lugo in that bubble. And the thing about that is, guys, it sucks to say because Seth Lugo is a guy that should be our setup man. He should be coming through for this team, but he hasn't really been coming through. He's been in little situations that Buck Showalter has put him in, and he has come through. So it's been like wishy-washy, to be honest with you, with Seth Lugo. And I hope that he does earn the trust of Buck Showalter in that eighth inning role, in that closing role. If Edwin Diaz, the other day, it was a game, they were going against the Cincinnati Reds, and Seth Lugo actually closed the game, because Edwin Diaz wasn't available. So the thing is about that, guys, is just the bullpen just doesn't have really a strong options other than Edwin Diaz, to be honest. So when Edwin Diaz is not available, it's like they're pushing, they're trying to get something out of someone, but it's not that great. We know that Drew Smith is also an option for the bullpen. He has been having, he's been good, but then he's been at times where he allows a lot of home runs, where he's not great. So he hasn't been great either. But Drew Smith has been, I like Drew Smith. I like what he brings to the table. Sometimes his slider looks flat. Sometimes his fastball, he gets a little ahead of himself. But the thing about that is, guys, is, Drew Smith, he, was a guy that, had a lot of injuries and, was never really healthy. And this season, he has been healthy and he has given the Mets some big outs, has done what he has to do, but he hasn't been perfect. And the bullpen, guys, like I said, it's a hard game. It's 162 games, guys. So what I think, guys, honestly, guys, is the Mets don't really have a lot of options in the bullpen. Other than Edwin Diaz, like solidified options that they can go to. Yes, you'll bring in Drew Smith and he'll get some outs. You bring in Seth Lugo and they bring, but these guys, you just can't trust these guys in big situations. You really can't. So I think the Mets should go outside of the organization and definitely either make a trade or, look for guys. Yeah, I make a trade for, someone that can be, a successful setup man to Edwin Diaz, hand the ball to Edwin Diaz in the ninth. And, somebody, not just somebody, probably like two pitchers that they really need in the bullpen, either a setup man, seventh inning man, whatever. They need guys. Because these Seth Lugo, Trevor May, Drew Smith, I just don't trust them enough, in big game scenarios. And that's the thing. So we've seen as Mets fans this year, we have seen the bullpen cough it up. Right now they have Tommy Hunter pitching in the bullpen. And I like Tommy Hunter. He's a good guy. But can he be trusted in big game scenarios? Probably not, guys. You know what I'm saying? But I really do like Tommy Hunter. He came back from a really crazy injuries. He had like 5 different injuries, to be honest. But it's a miracle that he's pitching this season. A miracle. But yeah, guys, I think the Mets have to go outside of this organization and look for guys. Me personally, Kenley Jansen was a guy that I thought the Mets should have been interested in, in the offseason, but the Braves picked him up. But, I think the Mets could have picked him up. I think they could have definitely, did their thing and picked them up. But it sucks to see Kenley Jansen, being so successful with the Braves, because I feel like he could have done that with the Mets. And he could have been a really good setup man, and gave the ball to Edwin Diaz. That would have been amazing to see. But, it is what it is, guys. Honestly, it is what it is. You can't really do much, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. I just want the Mets to do better. I want the Mets to be successful. I want the Mets to do what they have to do, guys, because this team has potential to go to the World Series, has potential to win the division. Yes, they are 2.5 games. The Braves are 2.5 games in back of the Mets, and that is a short leash right there. That's not much. So, they have a lot of games coming up against the Braves in the second half of the season. So listen, the Mets have to think about the situation. And yes, they are in a good place right now. And yes, they don't even have Jacob deGrom back yet. So they have some positives, coming to the Mets. Jacob deGrom is going to come back. Max Scherzer just came back, pitched a really great game against the Cincinnati Reds, but got no run support. So that's the thing about the New York Mets. We want to see this team thrive. We want to see this team successful. But I really just want them to not give up on this season and definitely make a trade, for a bullpen pitcher. Make a trade for, the guys that can be solidified in this bullpen and can really, back up Edwin Diaz, guys, because that's so important. You got to back up Edwin Diaz, and that's what I want to see from this team, guys. So Other than that, guys, let me know what you guys think about, the bullpen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys see other options outside of the organizations? If you do, let me know. I know, a lot of people have talked about, Taylor Rogers, as a bullpen piece, a lefty. And, yes, the Mets, I wouldn't say they could trust Jolie Rodriguez in that lefty scenario. He's been okay. He hasn't been amazing. He's not the typical lefty, guy that you would bring up, that doesn't have really a slider. So, yeah, guys, honestly, that's my honest views. That's what I think about the season right now. That's what I think about the bullpen and the issue that's really, that really the Mets have. But yeah, guys, let me know if if you think I'm wrong. Let me know if you think I'm right. Let me know what you guys think. I love hearing from you guys. This has been another video of All Things Mets Media. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. LFGM for life. Yeah, I always want to end my videos telling you guys you can do anything that you want to do in your life. Don't let anyone stop you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching.